we got to talk about your boy. I mean, this dude, Conor McGregor, is at the VMAs over the weekend, and he gets into a fight on the red carpet with MGK. Look, I got to be honest with you. I barely know who MGK is. So when I hear that Conor McGregor's fighting MGK, I cannot believe it. RC, let me ask you a question. When you look at this thing from the outside, when we watch Conor McGregor with all the incidents, you talk about the gimmick.
Yeah.
Has Conor McGregor lost control of the gimmick, right? Is he now living the character and is getting the best of him?
Well, I don't necessarily know if the character is getting the best of Conor McGregor, because this character is who Conor McGregor is. It's what made him. It's what people fell in love with when he was winning fights. But see, that's the difference. When he was throwing cranes at buses and when people were on that bus and they were hurt, or when he was fighting in bars in Ireland, a lot of these things were happening, but he was still winning fights. And so he had kind of turned into the bully, right? Well, what he started with was sort of like Petty has started. It was a guy you rooted for. He was fun and he was braggadocious. But then when he got into the octagon, he put people to sleep. Those things have changed now. And when those things start to change, so does our perception of the person. I don't necessarily know if Conor McGregor is now any different than he ever was. And I'm going to tell you this, DC, because this is what I've learned, whether you're a fighter, whether you are a football player, whether you are an actor, an entertainer, a rapper, or whatever it is, all that money and success does to you is amplify who you truly are, right? If you're a dude that would fight on red carpets if you was broke, you're going to for sure fight on red carpets if you got money, because now you could post bail. And so one thing I do know is this. Machine Gun Kelly cannot beat up Conor McGregor. So it was more act than anything for everyone. And this is what I'll tell you about Machine Gun Kelly if you don't know a little bit about him. He's from Cleveland. He's a rapper, but the thing that he's most famous for is dating Megan Fox. And so you don't want to mess up that pretty face fooling with Conor McGregor on the red carpet. Conor McGregor has to think about this, though. Who does he want to be, DC? Who does he want to be perceived as? Because to a fighter like you, you think it's a gimmick. But to people who are now paying money to watch Jake Paul fight, maybe being a character is more important than being a champion.
You know what the crazy thing about McGregor is when I say the gimmick, I mean the billionaire, right? With the strut and the fancy cars and the money. Because the reality is, it's in the WWE, right? You get a character. Your character can be the billionaire. You can be Vince McMahon, right? Vince McMahon is the evil boss. But Vince McMahon, when he hits that curtain in the back, he lets go of the evil boss, and he becomes Vince McMahon, the CEO and chairman of the WWE. It's the same with Ric Flair. When Ric Flair was Ric Flair, styling and profiling, kiss the girls and make them cry, woo, all that stuff. But when Ric Flair would hit the curtain in the back, he never stopped. He continued to live as Ric Flair. And ultimately, that was his undoing, right? That's why at 60, you saw Ric Flair still wrestling, because he had spent so much money and he had lived such a reckless life. It wasn't sustainable.
Okay.
Conor McGregor is the fighter, but Conor McGregor also lives this big life. And that's when I ask, does that gimmick, has it overtaken who Conor McGregor is as a person? Now, when it comes to Conor McGregor and MGK fighting, MGK can't beat Conor McGregor. He can't fight Conor McGregor.
Exactly.
Hey, Max Kellerman talked about a tune-up fight. If Conor wants a tune-up fight, beat on Machine Gun Kelly. That's easy.
Right.
Easy work for Conor McGregor.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming, sports, and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.